It's off his ramps. He's turned around, which was harder than it should have been because I didn't disconnect the battery, so the battery was flat. So we pushed him out, turned him, brought him back in. I've got the front wheel off because it gives me better access to a hole in our flitch, and I've got a hole on the outer sill to look at as well. I'll show you what I've got, do the repair, then I'll come back very quickly, then we can get another thing ticked off for the MOT and I can get this car out where it should be on the road. So yeah, I'll do a once round with the small camera to show you what I've got, or what I've got so far until I start digging, and then I'll come back to you. So, hole in here, I think I'd have preferred it here because it would have been easier access because the A panel's in the way. So yeah, just a quick patch. What I'll do is I'll grind it back, see what good metal is, cut it out, get a new one welded in, then I can get the car back up and ramps so I can get better access to the outer sill. So there we go, that little hole, growing and growing. To do it properly, I can't really repair this until I've got some of this outer sill removed. This lip here should have a bit that comes down here, and then the outer sill welds onto it, so this is obviously been cut off and reshaped whenever it's been done before, not by me. So yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do is leave this just now, because I'll probably have to cut further along. I'm going to have to get the car back up in the ramps, and I'm going to have to look at the sill, because I'm going to have to do it methodically. Otherwise, if I repair this, then the sill might not fit properly. So yeah, back up on the ramps. When I exposed some of the rust on the outer sill, it was beyond repair, and I knew once I started taking some stuff off I was going to have issues underneath, and I have. So yeah, I've got the usual holes in the floor where the outer sill is spot welded to it. Not all the way along. I've done a previous repair here before, so that's good. Pretty much along here, and the usual along where the companion bin is. So I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit disappointed because I was hoping I was near the end of the welding, but now I'm going to have to do. I'm not doing another floor repair on this side because the floor isn't as bad as it was on the other side. But I'm probably looking at a patch here, and a patch here. Maybe more once I grind more back, because I'm going to have to take a lot of metal off to see basically what I need. Brackets, but there's also a bodge in here. Classic Mini. Yeah, that's obviously been stuck on here to hold this bracket on because it's all rotten away here, and it's all been reshaped, so it's obviously been bodged before, which it's kept it together, but it's me that's suffering for it. So yeah, it's like I say, it's a bit disappointing, but I'm finished for today anyway. I've got other stuff on. I'll chip away over the next sort of few weeks or so, get all this dressed back, all the excess metal off, down to good metal, and just welding in. It's not going to cost any more money, it's just my time. And I've also noticed a little few spots of rust on the door here and at the back, but they're a later date because I'm focusing on the MOT side of things just now, and the structure. The doors aren't structural, whereas the sills and floor are. So yeah, one of the down days of car restoration, but I'll take it on the chin and I'll go away and I'll come back another day. I'm not going to follow this one, as I keep saying. I'll come back once this is in a much better place. I wish I could watch on that end of the camera and it magically fixes. It is good watching it later on, but it's hours and hours of work. Is it worth it? 100%. It's definitely worth it to drive one of these cars. Off camera, I'm quite a few hours into repairs on the driver's side, or the right hand side of the car. I decided not to go for the full floor, or the full half floor on this side. I might live to regret that. It was just too much work and I'm getting closer to my deadline and it wasn't as bad as the other side. So I went down the patching route. So I had a few patches basically where the outer sill joins onto the floor. Cut out the metal, used a previous floor pan I had, and it's all welded in, and I'm basically now at the stage just letting a bit more paint dry and then I can start getting the outer sill fitted. There's a few areas around here that were rusty, so I'm going to get all the sound deadening off, all in here. There's been a previous repair in here, so I want to have a look at this area. It's a bit frustrating here actually because the floor is quite pushed up where it's obviously been lifted incorrectly, as many should be in the past. But I don't want to mess with that too much just now. What I want to do is get all the sound deadening off, get a look at this and see if I'm going to need to make repairs on here, because there's no point replacing all this for this to go in a few months' time. But yeah, it goes on and on and on. What I'll do is I'll go around with the small camera and I'll show you some of the repairs I've done underneath, and I'll stick some photos in as well to let you have a look. Sound deadening is removed. The majority of the floor is okay. Got a few issues basically here and all around here. And looking at it, I've tried knocking the floor down a bit. I might need to reshape a bit more. But yeah, it's basically at some point in its life been in a garage and they've tried to lift it with this sling and bracket underneath, which is not a jacking point. It's forced the whole floor up, it's caused damage to the floor, cracks I'm guessing, it's let water in, the water sat between there and the sound deadening and it started rotting this out. So I'll take you underneath and I'll let you show you what they've done, and I'll let you see how it's also affecting the outer sill because all the floor is pushed in from this side. So yeah, the sling and bracket, basically this little bracket here that was used to transport the money around the factory. Basically someone's thought this is a jacking point, stuck this on here, it's pushed the floor up. You can see it's been cracked all along here, it's forced the floor up. It's also, if I can move the that when I'm putting the sill in, the rest's all a good fit, but at this point here it's going quite a bit back, so this bit here is probably about 5mm too far that way. Now it's fine, I could reshape that if it was just the damage, but because there's rust I'm going to need to cut back the rust and see what kind of repair I'm going to do here. Now I'll need to look at this before I weld the sill in, because I don't want to have to weld the sill in and then cut around the sill. That just wouldn't make sense. So yeah, this is another little surprise, but I would rather catch it at this stage than further down the line once I've done all these repairs. So basically I took the sling and bracket off. That revealed a lot more rot under here. This was rotting up here. So basically then there was a tiny bit here. So basically I've went back to good metal. I didn't want to replace the whole panel, although when I take more off I might decide that's the way I'm going. But as it stands at the moment I'm not going to have to replace the inner sill or anything here because this is a previous repair anyway. again, once I start getting all the paint off, if I find more, I'll have to go further. But yeah, that's it out just now. I'm going to park this, and I'm going to go and fit the outer sill, because the outer sill can now fit on here, and it just gives it a bit more strength when this is not here, because I've got no brace bars on. So yeah, I'm not going to cover that on camera. I've done stuff on the other side. I'll just basically go and do my stuff, come back once the outer sill's on and I've got a bit further ahead with this. I'm also going to, for peace of mind, take the sound deadening off the back, because obviously doing that here with a little bit of surface rust revealed this, so I'm taking no chances. I might not like what I find, but like I say, better finding it now than further down the line. So yeah, it's definitely a love-hate relationship, this car. Many hours off camera, over a few days in and out, chipping away. I now have the doorstep tidied up. I've got the outer sill on. I've got all the repairs done to the outer edge of the floor, all welded in. It's all seam sealed and it's all painted. I've still to tidy up the last finishing bits, but I've got a few other bits of bodywork to do before then. So I've basically then decided to move on to the floor. There's a few areas I wanted to check given the issues I had on the other side. It looked alright, and then I took the sound deadening off, just because I love giving myself extra work, and I'm glad I did, because I found a few, not too bad, but a few holes that I would rather catch now and put a patch on than down the line. And so the floor underneath the sound deadening, this area here, basically the same on the other side, where the screw for the mounting point for the exhaust heat shield is, just rotted away. So basically I'm going to take this off. I'll need to remove the heat shield again, put a new bit in, put a new screw in, and that'll be that done. You see with the small camera, the point at the rear here, luckily, unlike the other side, it's not into the heel board and it's not into the edge of the floor, it's just towards the end. And I will take the camera underneath, but the issue there, same as the front, was the slinging bracket, which I have cut off. So basically you can see it's all indented here. So the exact same thing has happened. Someone's jacked this up thinking it's a jacking point, cracked all the points under here and here, cracked the paint, rust's got in and it rusts out. That's why this car now has no slinging brackets. Stupid idea anyway, but yeah, so I've cut that off. I'm going to cut a patch there, get it welded in. There'll be no more fake, believed to be jacking points, and I'll get it all dressed underneath. The front, I'm pleased with it. This area here is still to be welded on, because I'm going to put a patch over here. I didn't like how it was cracked at the bottom and there's no bottom seam, so I'm going to put a patch in there, which will be easier when the car's off the ramps, because I can take the front wheel off. So yeah, it's an access thing. So all that's kind of done just now. I just need to finish that off. So that's pretty much it. I've probably got a few hours welding left for this part before the MOT that I know of. And yeah, it's taken a lot of time, but I'm quite pleased with how far I've got. The only kind of bits of other rust I have found is on the door skins. Now they're not an MOT failure, so I'll need to look at them possibly over the summer, because I don't want them getting worse, and it's an aesthetic thing. But for the purpose of getting this car on the road in an MOT, it doesn't need that done just now, so it's about prioritising. So the slinging bracket was here. This edge here that had cracked had caused this hole here. So now you can see it's all good metal here, ground back, Going to put a patch in here, cover it, treat it, all good, job done. You've seen me diving in and out there as I've been going. The floor is done, and he's off the ramps. Apart from when he got turned round, it's the first time he's been off the ramps for about 2 months. So, as you can see, I've got the front wheel off. The last bit of welding I've got to do, I hope, we'll see what the MOT says, is the patch at the front wheel arch. Now, I just couldn't get in with the wheel in place, so it's a lot more access here, which is why I've left it till last. As you can see here, I've put some holes in this flange, some weld through primer, and I've got this shaped to the right shape. Again, holes, weld through primer. I just need to get it clamped in once the weld through primer is dry. Clamped in and welded in, and then finished off. So I'm getting there, probably a few hours work left, and then I will get the interior all back on and I can start doing the final MOT prep checks. I'm delighted, possibly ecstatic, to say the welding's done. The welding's done on Ed. Yep, I've got this here, just need to dress it up a bit, put a bit more paint on. I'll put some wax oil on once all this is dried. What I'm going to do now, get the wheel back on, get them outside for some fresh air, and start getting them basically cleaned and getting all the interior put back in. It's MOT day, wish me luck. And it'll be the first time I've driven this little car since September, so I'm actually looking forward to the drive to get there. So, it's passed. You'll probably tell by the smile on my face. It's been so much hard work, it's been hours and hours and hours of my time. I still didn't know because there's some bits you just can't check at home. But no, it's passed with no advisories, a clean sheet, and I'm going to go and have some fun and enjoy those freezing cold days in the garage. I'll go and get them and then I'll jump back in the camera once I'm home with them. But the drive there, oh, I've missed it. I've missed it so much. I can't emphasise enough, if you've not got a classic Mini in your life and you've got the opportunity to either own one or have a shot in one, you have to do it. I love these little cars, as you probably know, but yeah, there's just no feeling like it. Anyway, I'm off to get it. And he's back. I've just driven about 20 mile from the MOT station and I've smiled all the way, and I've had about 10 waves, countless smiles, and cars flashing their lights at me. The sun's out and Ed's back, so as you can probably tell, I'm really delighted. For me, that's been over 100 hours welding work, along with other bits and pieces, and going back to September, October time last year, I was thinking of selling them because of the amount of work, but the comments from you guys and the support from you guys spurred me on, and the amount of times I see people on mini groups and other groups, to be honest, saying they regret selling their car and asking if anyone's seen their old car. So yeah, I stuck with them and I've saved them, and I've got another year of enjoying him Don't get me wrong, he's got his quirks, and he's always at this moment going to be a rolling restoration, but I can enjoy him, I can drive him, and all those cold days in the garage, all the downs, they're all worth it, because they just give you so much joy driving these cars. So yeah, so saving a classic Mini, done. It means I can now move on to some of my other projects, get back to Eleanor and get back to my camper vans and enjoy Ed at the same time. So I'll keep the content coming. I'm actually looking forward to a little bit of a break from welding and cutting and grinding, if I'm honest. But yeah, I'm going to end that one there. I'll say thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers!